I'm not really so interested in the contents of that debate as much as the format of this video. So as you can see, in real time, obviously it's not real time. Somebody went back and edited this from a while back. But you're seeing the visualization of the conversation actually happening on screen. And so the things that I tried to break down and show you guys, it's all here.
Because, I mean, there's no actual evidence of that.
True. Aha. So now Lisa is correct. The burden of proof falls on the person making the affirmative claim. And so if the claim is that racist outcomes do not mean racist intent, then the claim from Destiny's original question, it's Destiny's responsibility to prove that. It's Destiny's claim, and therefore the burden of proof is on Destiny.
I agree. So systemically racist law might be one that seems to target Black people in an unfair way for a reason that doesn't really make sense. The outcome isn't really justified for anything good in society. And I agree that the onus would be probably on me to try to point out, like, what are some areas that I feel are exemplary of, like, systemic racism in ways that,
I mean,
like,
I can help you. I'll give you an example. Well, so right now, on the books, right now, like, more white people use cocaine, more Black people statistically use crack.
And again, so the idea here is that it's not so much, I'm not showing you this to necessarily have the debate on, are the police systemically racist? That's a conversation that, you know, we can have, but that's not really what we're doing. I'm specifically looking at how they've broken this down, because that's what this channel is about understanding these conversations and being able to make these calculations in your head to be able to not only understand your own point and get your own point across, but to understand other people's points. Basil said the police beat up pasty white people all the time. The media just never talks about it. Yep. We said even for laws based on fairness and equality is racism. There you go. He's not yet, at least not yet. Remember, Destiny is he's like this, but he's not as far out there as most of them. He's a leftist, but he's Destiny.
For every 500 milligrams of cocaine, you get 5 years in prison. For every 1 milligram of crack, you get 5 years in prison.
Damn, I never thought about that, because from what I've never done crack, but from what I understand, 1 gram of cocaine is going to be more drug than 1 gram of crack. And so if the laws are that disparate, damn.
And so those outcomes would have if more people would be in prison for a smaller amount of crack than they would cocaine, right? But what reasons were those laws put on the books? Was it to stop the crack epidemic? Was it to help Black people? So it wasn't necessarily a racist in nature sentencing that was put on there. It just happens that was the outcome.
Right. And so Zippy said, depends on where the debate goes. Desperation makes equality and fairness go away. And we'll be able to see when and where he's switching tactics, how we can identify that, oh, he's switched tactics and now he's going to, equality and fairness. Because you guys know that Destiny's not going to just let himself look bad in a debate. Even if he doesn't have a point, he's linguistically able to make himself look at least like he knows what he's doing, that he didn't lose. And so we'll be able to see that as it's happening.
That could be the case, but if that is the outcome, we'd probably see.
So we have the main counter being the laws with disproportionate outcomes does not prove racism. As we say all the time, disparity is not discrimination.
To change that, right?
Well, I'm not saying that we don't want to make everybody's lives better. I'm just saying that systemically, and that is the topic of this conversation, that on the books, you have to prove, and I think that's what's wrong. That's what society's doing.
And so the main counter here from, I should know her name. What's her name? Do we have her name? The lady. She's saying that disparity does not mean discrimination. And Destiny responds, well, okay, that is true. However, that doesn't mean we shouldn't try to change those outcomes. And so I think it would be on her to then be, well, maybe we do want those outcomes, because if those outcomes are relevant to the crime that's actually happening, then there's nothing wrong happening. If it's disproportionate, then maybe we should change those outcomes. But if it's proportionate to the crime that's happening, then there's no disproportionality.
Wrong right now is they're blaming white people, or they're blaming the system rather than treating the solution, which is only exacerbating the issue.
So we have an off topic here. Lisa. Okay. Welcome, Lisa. Diverts to a separate topic dealing with whether or not the police are racist, when the topic is the police system, systematically, whatever they call it, where switching to the individual police officer. And so I'm sure Destiny's going to pick up on that. But this is all the stuff that's happening when you're in a debate. So these two are having a debate on are the police systemically racist? But I'm not really so interested in the contents of that debate as much as the format of this video. As you can see, they have the debate all kind of laid out, and you know, this is obviously a previous debate that they edited, and they're doing, you know, they edit it to do this way. But I think it's a really cool way to look at how a debate unfolds in a visual way.
So I think carefully, so I'm not here to blame white people. I don't care about that. And I'm here to blame the system. Basically, what we're trying to say is, like, are there things that exist in the system that maybe put undue pressure on one race over another?
So again, the refocus, because Lisa went off topic talking about individual police officers. So now Destiny is bringing the conversation back to where he wants it to be, which is the topic. But even if it wasn't the topic, even if he was like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble here, then I could do the opposite and pivot away instead of pivoting it back towards the main topic.
So in the instance of like crack versus powder cocaine, you know, is there a good reason why there is such a disparate charge? Why is there such a disparate rate in charging one versus the other? It seems to be that it massively impacts one race over the other, because black people are more likely to use crack, white people are more likely to have the money to buy powder cocaine. Is there a good reason why the sentencing is so different from one to the other?
Yes.
Why would you say the reason for that is?
Okay, so again, now the question was asked, is there a difference? And she said, yeah, or there's a reason for this difference. And she said, yes. So now again, she's making a claim.
Okay, so because of the difference in price and things like that, it was negatively affecting more impoverished communities, specifically in the cities. And so you were having these big, like these larger crime and drug epidemics, and they were focused there. And so they say, okay, this is a problem. They weren't thinking about the difference between cocaine and crack. They were saying, let's make these penalties stronger for crack cocaine possession so that we can stop this madness. Now, to every policy comes a negative externality. And sometimes, like, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Sometimes you have good intentions on making communities better, and they have negative policy outcomes, which disproportionately affect Black communities. That doesn't mean that the policy is indeed racist.
So again, she's going back to disparity does not mean discrimination.
Sure. So I agree with that. So I want to focus on the last part. I don't know if we're going to keep coming back to this. So a policy doesn't have to necessarily be racist to be systemically racist. But if I look at the state of Black America today, and I look at it from a conservative angle, there are a couple of really easy attacks that I can levy against it. So one, the culture is relatively toxic when we look at what is mainstream or popular for a lot of like Black culture. And two, arguably downstream from that, the Black family is in a pretty sad state compared to what we would consider like most white families. I think both of us agree that these are like pretty bad things, right?
Yep.
Well, yeah, but when people always do that, they compare like Black and white first. But if you look at like median household income and you look at it for Pakistanis, if you look at it for Indians, right?
So before they go on, just a little thing about the structure here is that Destiny just made a claim. Destiny just made a claim that the white population is doing better, not is better or inherently is doing better than the Black community. And so her counter would be that we don't want to just have this binary conversation about Black and white. There's other races as well. MA said, my Hotep says yes. My base side said no. At least I'm half right. Hey, either way, you got it on either side, right?
Right. It is extraordinarily higher than it is for both white and Black. Actually, both white and Black are in the bottom two. And that is because, like, in the bottom range there. And that's because, if you look at all these other groups, these Indian groups, these Chinese groups, all these other ethnicities, their levels of children out of wedlock are much lower than both of ours, than the white community and the Black community.
Sure.
And so we keep looking at the Black and the white community like that's the only problem, but it's not black and white. It is.
And I understand that. This is a slightly different argument. So when we talk about like Pakistani communities, Indian communities, especially Chinese communities, the primary reason why these communities are going to be doing so much better than Black and white communities writ large is going to be because these are immigrants largely. These are, if you have the money to immigrate from China, India, Pakistan, you're already selecting from a pretty elite class of people there.
So again, now we have the main stuff over here, but the conversation has moved to the the median income for other minority groups is higher than Black and white families. And then Destiny brings up the fact that if you see other races, a lot of times they're going to be immigrants.
In terms of who's going to come over. So for instance,
not necessarily true.
Well, just real quick, that is absolutely true. It's absolutely true. So for a really good example of this.
One sec, I promise we'll come right back to you, Lisa. I appreciate your spirit.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I guess this is from a modern day debate. I would love to. There's nothing here about like who did the edit. This is from the Last Night on Destiny channel. But I mean, hey, shout out to whoever did this. And I wish your name was somewhere. I would definitely shout you out.
It's absolutely true. So for instance, if I look at Black families in the United States, I can get one median income and one like picture of what a Black household looks like. But if I were to look at just Kenyan families or Nigerian families, now I'm getting some of the wealthiest Americans for Nigerians hold more postgraduate degrees than any other group of ethnic group in the entire United States.
But that doesn't mean it's a product of what they came over with. It's a product of their culture and their values and what they prioritize.
I love how they're doing this, because now as she's saying this, I'm trying to think of how I'm going to summarize what she's saying in the context. But then little card comes up and says, yeah, their success is not due to their wealth. And let's just see where it goes. Let's just see where it goes. I love this.
Their culture and their values and what they prioritize, which
if
is
that was the case,
and family units.
But if that was the case, then everybody in Nigeria would be ultra well educated. That's not the case, right? The country.
So the claim, the counterclaim was that their success is due to their values, not their wealth. But Destiny's counterclaim to the counterclaim is that if it was their values, then the entire nation would be rich. But we don't see that. We only see the immigrants who come to America getting rich.
Here to get themselves educated because they want a better life. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be wealthier when they get here. And I know because I did immigration casework for like ever.
That's okay. That's great. But like, let's just think.
Statistically, it's not, you're not correct.
Statistically, I promise you I'm correct. Let's just think for one moment. What type of family could either move themselves or their entire family from Africa to the United States? We're
people claiming asylum that have nothing.
I don't think that the people that come from Nigeria and like attain postdoctorate degrees in the U.S. higher rates than any.
I mean, maybe now, but I think this is from a year ago, November 25th. Yeah, so just about a year ago. Maybe now, asylum will do that. But
any other ethnic group in the entire United States are all coming via asylum, right? The reason
why they're not, but a lot of them are.
Okay. Okay. Hold on.
All right. Well, keep going.
Yeah.
We'll debate that later.
It's just a fact that in order to be able, and I'm pretty sure they bring this up. I don't want to get a step on the content too much, but I'm pretty sure that they touch on the idea, or that it's well established, and just makes sense that if you are able to move out of a bad place and move your entire family to America, then you're going to be of a socioeconomic status in your country that's going to be higher. You're not getting poor people who are moving across the world. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.